Всем привет! Продолжение Kingdom Come Deliverance. Я просто, честно сказать, не помню, на чем мы остановились. Так. Ага. Я вспомнил, я как-то стримил эту игру. И короче, что-то произошло. И стрим не сохранился. Он то ли удален было там, то ли что-то типа того. Я точно не помню, что там было, но я пошел к Терезе. Мы с ней погуляли, и по окончанию гулянки нашей, там то ли дождь, то ли что-то такое, мы зашли сюда и вот здесь вот делали дела, и, если честно, то все показывалось на экране. То есть, как бы, такое себе, без предупреждения всяких. Я об этом и не знал, что это может быть здесь. Ну, когда он просто будет черный экран, уже после всего этого, а там чуть ли не процесс показывался весь. Так что будьте аккуратны.
Henry, I'm so glad to see you.
И вот там вот началось.
How did things work out with the job I arranged?
You did what I asked, but still, Antonia is a widow now. Not all the coin in the world can help if God doesn't will it.
About that evening.
Ah, yes. I never thanked you properly for helping me with the laundry. That storm would have carried it off to God knows where.
Oh, I think you thanked me enough. But next time we should take shelter somewhere else. That hayseed gets into places it shouldn't and itches like mad.
Henry, you donkey. You really know how to sweet-talk a girl, don't you? And anyway, what do you mean by next time? Just what exactly do you have in mind for the two of us?
Не хочешь ничего? Блин.
How do you see things?
Me? Well, when you're not behaving like a total nincompoop. I kind of
Куда я
like
так
being
себя
with
вел?
you.
I behave like a nincompoop.
Yes, like now answering a question with another question. How do you see it with us, Henry? If I really must say it, I like you very much, and you saved my life in Skalitz.
And you saved mine. So we're even. Well, we'll be together. Like a couple. And when the time comes, you'll take me as your husband, right?
You're full of yourself, aren't you? But that's not how things are done.
Well, obviously, under normal circumstances, I'd ask your pa for your hand, but...
Papa? Yes. He'd set the dogs on you. Now you'd have to get Uncle Peshek's blessing.
I reckon I'd have no better luck with him. Unless he saw a way to profit from it.
And I'd have a sack of flour for my dowry. But seriously, Henry, what kind of husband would you make? You can't sit still in one place for an hour at a time.
Well, I've got a lot of duties, but I'm very fond of you, you know. And maybe one day...
I know, you silly sod. We can't get married yet. But we can still see each other and be fond of each other.
Что так мою одежду сразу? Пожалуйста.
Wouldn't you like to take a stroll somewhere?
In this weather? Let's leave it for another time, eh?
Давай. Только, блин, встречаться и уже чинишь. Так, что там у меня какой-то эффект? поспать хочу. Так, а что там было-то? Я что-то не понял, там же денег я кому-то должен, где-то стоит. Да. Я же вылетел с монастыря. Дальше мне что? Не помню ничего. Так, можно поспать. Надо как-то найти цветож. Там можно было как-то прокрасться.
Who's there?
Что там? Да никто.
What? You there? Stop! Surrender! You
Hey!
committed a violation. You're under arrest.
Ah, shit!
You were seen picking a lock. This definitely won't come cheap. You'll learn crime doesn't pay.
Damn it. Here's your coin then.
You purge yourself before the law, but I'll be keeping an eye on you. You can be sure of that. And hand me over those stolen goods.
Там. Да, прям к вечеру. Очень удобно. Так. Ну, монастырь, монастырь. Что был за отец Симон? Он пропал. Убьем башика. Вообще в лесу полностью стоит, наверное. Да не разведешь. Чего не затеяли? Посмотрим. Что-то изменил. Нет, все нормально. Не вижу.
What are you after here, you fucker? I can see you're not from around here, and we've had no one coming here lately.
Fucking come on then! Is that the best you can do?
Так, что ты сказал?
Oh dear, does that...
I'll slaughter you.
Oh, fuck, sorry. Ow!
Какой тут?
I'll find you how to get the curve. Look, an enemy!
Go ahead and gather your strength. You'll need it.
Come here! I'm going to enjoy
You'll get what for.
Someone there. I'm going to enjoy it.
You call that combat? Is that all you've got? Christ!
А у меня еще что-то не было, да? Так, ясненько, ясненько. Так, чтобы попасть в монастырь, мне нужно... Мне нужно... Мне нужен взлом. А вот, где замков. Вот, а мне нужно это взломать тяжелую дверь, чтобы попасть в монастырь. В монастырь, естественно, так просто не попасть. Тут какой-то охрана, да? Это он люди еще ходят. Куда поехал? Блин. А, нет, все нормально. Налево или где-то надо речку переехать. Вон тут можно, да, речку переехать. Угу. Да, надо придется обратно возвращаться. Вот здесь по мосту и направо.
Yeah.
Дикарь. По идее, в этом лагере еще остался... А, нет, не остался. Вроде бы я там все открыл. Не помню уже. В некоторых лагерях, где были разбойники, там явно остались чемоданы. Этого нет. Э,
Bring it on.
If I kill someone,
С факелом одним, что ли? Дурачок, что ли? Что такое?
Yeah. Missed. Oh.
Просто разбойник. Бухарик, короче, какой-то. И как? Где этот гребаный мост? Как лагерь какой-то. А, нет, все правильно, сюда. Я уже думал, я сбился с пути, уже дорога кончилась. Интересно. Днем, наверное, хорошо, что-то видно тут.
Yeah.
Есть. Уже вижу, где они. Вот там. Щит. А, лошадка. Ну, там был один. Непонятно, где он ходит.
Who's there?
Что спросил? А вон идет отсюда. Ну, не видно. Не знаю, можно ли здесь дождать до при свете их. Всех перерезать.
To my prayers.
Я нашел, да, меня?
Just when I wanted to vent my rage on someone.
Hey, all of you! Gather here! Raise the alarm!
Where is everyone? Quick! You know how this one ends. Is that the best you can do? Dwarf! Get over here!
Давай, нападай.
Going to enjoy this.
Буду с факелом что бегает.
Come here, lily liver.
Ha! Go!
Bugger this.
I'll slaughter you!
Come on!
Insolent whelp!
Bring it on! Tired of life, are you?
Происходит точно.
You'll get what for! Hey!
Is that all you've got?
Fuck!
Take that!
Is that the best you can do? Gone weaker than...
On again!
Come here, Lily Liver!
Oh dear, did I
You'll
hurt?
get what for!
Your end is nigh.
Raise the alarm! Watch out! What's the
Get some-
matter? Come on!
Just when I wanted to vent my rage on someone, I'll slaughter you.
Hey! All of you, gather here! Raise the alarm! All you got?
Да ё-моё, садите.
Enjoy this!
Но... Конечно. Далековато, конечно. На следующее утро будет турнир врата, и там можно в нем поучаствовать. Или же откатить сохранение и пойти опять в монастырь, через монастырь найти святошу как-нибудь. Ну-ка. Так. Ага. Так, монастыри. Ну да, вот, наверное, голку круглый всем надо. И пойти отсюда.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
It was my choice. For a common lad like me, it's the easiest way to get an education and do something worthwhile with my life.
It looks like we're both here for the same reason. I think we'll get along.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now. Follow me closely. I'll explain everything as we go. Remember one word: discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs. Peace be with you, brother. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. You rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to. This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the circators, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The Rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about the circuitors. The library, the pride of our monastery, a trove of learning. We don't just read books here, we also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty, but tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, So if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
Well, that's all. Thank you for your time, brother.
Так. Братья-послушники, следующий распорядок. Описывают ежедневные дела, которыми вам предстоит заниматься в первые года пребывания в нашем монастыре. Порядок и прослушивание. Вот треугольные камни, на коих возведен орден святого Бенедикта. За любыми отступлениями от сего распорядка, далее отмеченным восклицательным знаком, последует наказание в виде пребывания в одиночной келье, если вы ищете заступничество, трапезы и отдых могут быть заменены на усердную молитву и чтение. 3 утра – начало дня, 4 утра – заутрение. Такое заутрение. 6 утра – совместная трапеза. 8 утра – работа в трапезной, назначаемая братом невластным. 12 дня работа в библиотеке, назначенная братом библиотекарем. 4 дня дневная молитва, 6 вечера вечерняя общая трапеза, 7 вечера по вечере свободное время перед сном, 9 вечера отдых и отдых ко сну. Да славится Иисус Христос, Отец Димитрий, настоятель. Так, ну понятно, 3. Ну, какое-то чтение. Сейчас у нас 20, 21 там вроде как. Отход. Так я не понял, в 3 часа только вставать или в 3 часа уже надо куда-то идти? Йодок.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
I'm interested in the other novices. Do you know anything about Antonius?
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop. Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
Who would you vote for as the new abbot if you could?
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we shouldn't get mixed up in it.
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. I'm Gregor, a novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
Do you know anything about Yodok?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
Do you know anything about Yodok? You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
If you could, who would you vote for to be the abbot?
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worrying? Ask Antonius. He often talks about it, and I'm sure he has an opinion.
I'd like to know something about the...
I don't know much.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
Ясно.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother, and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
Who would you choose as the new abbot if you could?
Why should I even think about that when I don't have the right to vote? Gregor, don't go poking your nose into other people's business. You'll sleep better at night.
My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Now, are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although, it's not important. Welcome to Purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
Are you hiding something? Why are you so reluctant to tell me anything about yourself?
I'm hiding a lousy past that I'd rather forget. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question, aren't you the son of the famed Sir Smil Flashka of Pardubitz? I was rich and I had everything. But then my father began to feel his time approaching, so he decided to send a son to the monastery. And, being the youngest, the lot fell on me. I've no head for managing the estate, and they said I'd squander it. Can you imagine? Me, in a monastery. So I took what coin I could from home with me, so I didn't lose out completely.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
That's all I wanted to know.
Please, keep it to yourself. Especially the part about the coin.
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. Tell me about Antonius.
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius. He has a calm soul, he's easy to talk to, and you can always rely on him.
I'm interested in Yodok.
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here, he'd be a cumin scout, bowing and scraping for a few groschen.
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for him. He's got his eye on everyone, and he'll rat on you for even the slightest of infractions.
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a wedding night.
That's all. Thanks. Who would you elect, Abbot, if you could?
Most likely Nevlas. He's a fine fellow and he seems honest. But, truth be told, it doesn't matter much to me. The monastery will still be a monastery, no matter who's in charge. If you really want to talk more about it, ask Antonius. He seems to have taken an interest.
Will you tell me something about...
Look, nothing...
Very well.
Thank you.
How is it that you don't get any penance for missing morning prayers?
I've paid off the circators to turn a blind eye. And the other monks don't notice as long as you show your face there from time to time. No one's still awake at that time of the morning.
I'd like to ask you something about... Well, that's all.
Так, ну похоже, что вот этот чел здесь чиж. Это и есть Святоша. Теперь такой вопрос. Бить Святошу, да? Ночью не получится, наверное, если только он не будет спать. А днем тоже, наверное, тяжеловато. Ну только если куда-то он зайдет. Где-то, где никто не будет его видеть. Ну и где можно его спрятать будет. Да, где никто не будет его видеть. Не знаю, как насчет прятать, не прятать можно, не можно, но... Поговорить, обокрасть. Ничего из оружия нет. Каменный крючок. Скоро. Как его убивать? Оружия нету. Думаем.
I wish all good health upon him, but I want change and only a new abbot.
Ладно, я думал, наверное, спать идти. Идти спать лечь. То есть здесь хотя бы день-два. Ну, там посмотрим. Либо же попробовать. Сейчас проснулся ночью.
True. They all know what we do to them. They've seen what we did to Lucas.
Смотрим, где он ляжет. Ой. Происходит. За лаги, где этот вижу. Очень странно. Его нигде нет. Еще не видно ни хрена. Они еще дрыхнут. Уже написано 3 часа. Вот и тише.
Salve, be well.
На другой уже. Что они выходят, им нормально, а я встаю и нельзя. Три часа утра, начало дня. 4 часа утра. Ну я встал, а что все спят? Странно. Нужно было еще спать и спать. Я нарушаю распорядок дня. Нормально. Крестные какие-то все.
So, be well.
Brother, where were you during Mass? Don't tell me you didn't know that Holy Mass is the foundation on which your life here is built.
Я только что здесь был.
You're right, brother.
This is your first warning. Don't do it again.
Что, гонишь, что ли? Ты что, здесь зря стоял, что ли, это все время? Ну что так быстро ходит-то? Вы так медленно. И это пришел.
Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the
Куда мне
morning,
можно
let them
сесть?
labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the
Ну
4th
что, мне
hour
нельзя есть?
until about the 6th, let them apply themselves. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none ere be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily in his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore, the brethren should be occupied at certain times in manual labor, and again at fixed hours in sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence. Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none ere be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
Не у вас, он же здесь где-то был. Ладно, расскажу в шоке.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery?
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. I want you to prepare 2 marigold decoctions. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
Так, читать. Напор календулы. Вот он. Так, нужна вода, крапива и календула. Значит, 2 крапивы и 4 календулы. И 2 крапивы. Так, когда я выпьет насыку тому, кто ранен или избит, она поможет исцелить раны и придаст силы его телу, а если этого будет недостаточно, придется обратиться к лекарю, она также помогает при похмелье. Тебе понадобится вода, горсть крапивы и 2 горсти календулы. Брось крапиву в воду и кипяти 1 оборот. Брось крапиву в воду. Дай отвара остыть, брось календулу, но больше не кипяти. Так, вода. Так. Так. Крапива. Календула. Берем крапиву. И бросаем ее в воду. Кипятим 1 оборот. Это будет должно. Точные часы 1 оборот. Так, и как делать-то? Как? Как теперь? Как не кипятить-то больше? Больше не кипятить. Ай, блин, я неправильно сделал. Ну что за ингредиенты утеряны? Что гонишь? Так, берем воду, наливаем, налили, берем крапиву, поставим, разжигаем огонь. Да, нужно закипеть. Вот закипело. Слышь, ничего себе, один оборот. Добавляем календулу. Я опять сделал неправильно. А, типа все, я приготовил 2 отвара. Реально? А, 3 штуки он. Ну ладно. А где это дальше?
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
Да, Григор.
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Yep.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
Is there anything I could help with?
You know, there is. Perhaps you've heard that Abbot Peter is gravely ill. I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
You can count on my help. What do you need me to do?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now, you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the Libri Prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
Why are they forbidden?
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. Or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the 3 wise men were from the East, were they not?
Where can I find it?
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Salarius could help.
Why can't you do it yourself?
Because I'm one of the highest-ranking monks here, and one day I'd like to become abbot. Can you imagine me crawling around in the black of night searching for a forbidden book?
You could just ask for it.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunately, Librarian Cyril is a stubborn ass.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Salarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
Что мне дальше делать? Так, сейчас понимаю. Ага, я что такая же с этим широком работаю. Что мне дальше делать? Так, крапива, 2 белодонны. На белодонны нету.
What is it, brother?
Что делать?
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book.
Who'd tear up a book like that? Brother Librarian might know.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. What can you tell me about the novices here?
What can I say? You're here to demonstrate your devotion to God and to live a monastic life. After a year, you can make your vows and become a fully fledged brother.
I meant something specific about the brothers that are here.
But you know them yourself. Yodok is an odd one, but he's diligent and eager, perhaps too eager. Siskin is good company, but a bit too worldly for a monk. Antonius is hard-working and will help with anything, but prays less than he ought. Lucas is as quiet as a mouse and no one knows much about him. And then we have you, about who I know nothing.
Can you leave the monastery?
Where would you go? You have everything you need here. Anyway, all the doors here are closed and locked tight, so no one can get in or out.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Well, the abbot is the head, but he's not here now. Then there's the prior and the sub-prior, the librarian, the porter, and many others. As a novice, you should be particularly mindful of the circuitors. They're the ones who maintain discipline and punish bad behavior.
Who's in charge of things around here?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always traveling, and on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him with many more years of life.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Tell me something about life here.
Prayer, work, obedience. That just about sums it up.
Can you tell me something about the rule of St. Benedict?
7 centuries ago, St. Benedict of Nursia wrote a collection of monastic rules, which we still follow today. They're read at every meal. The fundamental precepts are obedience, work, and prayer. We're fully devoted to serving God. The outside world, beyond the monastery walls, is foreign to us.
Do you never want to know what's going on out there?
And what should be going on? The sky is just as blue and the grass is just as green. Perhaps the rulers change, but the greatest ruler of them all will remain unchanged through the ages.
I'm interested in the monastery's history.
It was founded by St. Procopius 500 years ago. After his death, heretics occupied the place for some time, but then the order was restored and brothers of the true faith returned.
Heretics, you say?
They wanted to worship God with some foreign rituals in a language foreign to God. They were driven away, their books burned.
Is there any way I could help you get elected? Somehow tip the scales in your favor?
What would you like to do? Climb up the tower and shout, "Vote for Nevlis, vote for Nevlis"?
Not exactly. You do have an opponent, John.
John isn't my opponent, he's my brother. Just like you and everyone else here. We're all brothers in Christ. But there is something you could help me with. You must know there's a great deal of iniquity here in the monastery. I'd be interested to hear of anything I don't know about.
Should I find out for you what's going on around here?
Let me make this clear. I want to base my candidacy on putting things in order. But if I don't know exactly what's wrong, then my promises are just empty slogans.
Very good then. I'll find out what I can.
Thank you, brother.
Новый свет или совет? Записано с милым Пашкой Пордубице. Послушать басеньку изволь, Лев. Твоим признанный король. Послал гонцов во все края с такой возвестью клячь зверья, чтоб каждый зверь велик и мал перед очи царские предстал. Могучий лев им повелее, чтоб даже князь орел летел, и птиц припевел, а их не счесть, присягу королю принесть, оставив почтую нору, спешили в зрей ко двору, а князь орел его вассал, цаю птиц своих брала. Не смел ослушаться он льва, а на трон имевшие права. Измыла в небо стая птиц от журавлей и до синиц. Затмился ими солнце свет. Забрались звери на совет. Все королевской речи ждут, расселись всюду, там и тут, внимать готовы рыку льва. И к сердцу взять его слова, покинут взглядом все зверье. Слова такие он им рёк. Все затаились, не дыша, от старика до малыша. Для королевства пробил час. Сейчас, когда я вижу вас, прошу о помощи, как царь, когда отец мой прежний царь с советом вашим прибегал, чтобы мир звериный процветал. Вам от морей и до небес знаком широкий мир оркестр. Вассалы верные мои и звери все со всей земли. Я юн, хочу я править так, чтоб счастлив подданный был всяк. Пусть каждый скажет, не таясь, на что употребить мне власть. Продолжается рассказ о том, как звери осветовали своему королю, чтобы он правил мудро и справедливо, чтобы королевство его процветало, а подданные жили в радости. Обо всем этом, впрочем, рассказывается в другой книге. Классная книга. Так. Ночь нежна, тоскую я. Ночь нежна называется. Тоскую я, пусть ночь нежна. О, ночь, скажи мне, где она? Слова ее, как сладкий мед. Когда ж она ко мне придет? И сердце плачет от тоски, когда ж коснусь ее руки. Нас развела сама судьба, страдаю я, как никогда. О, сжалься, Боже, надо мной, с моей любовью неземной. Будь весел, добрый господин, по сердцу мне лишь ты один. Тут должен быть продолжение. Ой. Не познать любви своей. Не познать любви своей, будто в поле суховей, слов любовных не найти, будто сбиться на пути. Нежных губ не целовать, будто розу не сорвать, а в объятиях не сжать, будто заживо сгорать. Милая моя душа, ляг со мною не спеша, ждет любовная игра, уж недолго до утра. О женщинах. Женский род, оплот греха, но без женщин жизнь плоха. Ева к древу подошла, весь наш род тем прокляла. Коль пуста твоя сума, от тебя уйдет жена, коль богатством поманить, будет век тебя любить. Сеет злобу и вражду, голод, войны и нужду, ранит словом, как мечом, Божий гнев и ее нипочем. Вот так вот. Вот так. Так, сколько там, 11 часов? Ой, можно было не выходить. Вы читаете, что усталость и голод нарастает в 2 раза медленнее, чем обычно. Первый раз, когда вы смотрите на фреску, крест или придорожный храм, ваше обаяние временно увеличится на +2. Будучи хорошо образованным, вы производите лучшее впечатление и получаете +1 к красноречию при разговорах со стражей. Если вы удобно сидите, то получите двойную прибавку к впечатлению. Ваш уровень изучения книги, которую вы прочли, автоматически улучшается во время сна или пропуска времени. Неважно, где ты читаешь, ты получаешь прибавку к обучению, где бы не читал. На время разговора со стражей вы получаете +2 на речь, +3. Вам тотчас же открывается вся карта, показывая поселения, охотничьи угодья и пещеры. Прикольно. Вот это я думаю, что лучше. Хроник почти не читаю. Очень мало читаю. Очень мало читаю. Так, а сколько мне там надо будет-то? 8-12 дня, да? Сейчас 11. Работа в библиотеке. Мне нужно в библиотеку идти к 12 часам. Сейчас у нас 11 ровно. Столько времени, а что делать? Таким образом все перечитаю. Только книг. О святом Вацлаве, о святом Войцехе. Отрывок из легенды о христианах. Паутина. Песенка веселого бедняка. Вон, давайте почитаем. Да, где там песенка веселого бедняка? Песенка нищих. Вот зима уже и тут. Слушай же, бездомный люд. Ждут нас злые времена. Холода, пурга и тьма. Дают снежные ветра. Мрачная пришла пора. То метель, то буря вой. Только мрак да холод. И, конечно, голод. Разгуляется метель. Двери все сорвет с петель. Нас же холод гонит прочь. Пусть идти уже не в мощь. Спим мы лето напролет. Все вокруг поет, цветет. Но во сне всегда видны только мрак и тьма зимы. Как ноги и бойцы мы. Веселись, рванье и голь. Нам знакома жизнь и боль. Все сносили догола. Сединой башка бела. Нас отчаяние ведет в мир, где вечную радость ждет. Будет ночь, и будет день. Всех нас ждет Господня сень. Веселись, рванье и голь. Не покрытой головой, да дырявой никой мой. Ходим по миру. Зло крепко в людях проросло. Все пшено по закромам, а крестьяне по домам. Что же мы, богемский люд, завсегдатай там и тут. Все в тавернах пиво пьют. Но едва зайдешь в трактир, гонят прочь обратно в мир. Ни монетки, ни гроша, эх, похлебка хороша. Остается нам, видать, лишь на Бога уповать. Ты молитву вознеси и смиренно крест неси. В рай скорее впустить, прости. Вот наш пятничный обед. Суп, где мяса вовсе нет, только хворост да трава, голод заморить едва. Может, рыбная уха вовсе даже неплоха, но в котомке ни гроша, плачет бедная душа. Нет на ужин ни шиша. По субботам на обед мяса нет и хлеба нет. В воскресенье пухнет брюхо, не с еды, так с голодухи. Соберемся вместе мы, да достанем из суммы миску снов с щепоткой слов. Вот и наш готов обед. Обед готов. Голодранцев босиков. Нам готовят повара крепкий суп из топора, кашу черную, как ночь, чтобы наш голод превозмочь. Виток вместо овощей, грязи вместо кислых щей. Ешьте, гости дорогие, век не видать вас хромые и убогие и злые. Бог пошлет, а мы возьмем щедрой каши с ячменем и капусту самый сок, простоквашу тоже впрок, чечевицу и горох, лапшицу с маковым зерном, свиные шкварки да с дымком, тыкву да морковку, манку да перлов. Вот так вот там люди жили. Эта песенка еще веселого. Весельчака, бедняка. Бедняк-весельчак. Вот тут что-то почитать можно. Карл IV величайший и самый прославленный из правителей Чехии, чье наследие навечно высечено в сердцах богемцев и в летописях их страны, ибо ни один король еще не превозжел деяния его. Он появился на свет тысяча... А, все уже, да, но извините, не прочитал. Побегу. Надо бежать. Кирилл, так, а где библиотека-то у нас находится? Я вообще не помню уже. Может тут? Я угадал. Ты смотри, как ты, Кирилл?
Ah, Gregor, talk to me.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely! Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Ого. Так. Что мне нужно переписать? Первая буква это. Так. Вот это. Ю. Вот, вроде как второе. Ясно. Так. Тоже вторая вроде как.
no. Such a waste of parchment.
В смысле?
How could you? What is it, brother?
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are libri prohibiti, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Fine then. I don't need to hear anything else. I've heard about Avicenna's Book of Medicine. Could I see it?
Who told you about that? Of course you can't.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
Так, где-то. Длинная молитва. Сейчас сколько? Угу. А выходить из библиотеки я также не могу, да? А нет, тут уже могу. А вот теперь не могу. Понятно.
Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
You're right, brother.
This is your second warning. Do it again and you will be punished.
Хорошо, где выход? Ну, раньше зачет не показал.
The forbidden books must be in that.
Очень сложно, значит, я не смогу его вскрыть. Так, война, ждущая война. Длинная книга. Да, как я хотел почитать о поединках. Поединки или же турниры — любимое придворное развлечение, а порой также забава и для простого люда со всех краев земли, который приходит поглазеть, как сражаются друг с другом благороднейшие паны. Слово настоящих сражений им не достает. Однако же в поединке, в отличие от настоящего сражения, запрещено наносить противнику увечья, а потому оружие намеренно затупляется и вида меняется по необходимости. Впрочем, порой все же происходят несчастные случаи, что кончается смертью. Конные рыцари с копьями съезжают, дабы попробовать выбить противника из седла. Пешие же рыцари вооружены на самый различный манер, сражаются в стремлении одолеть противника и бросить его на землю. И побежденный должен сдать оружие, выкупить которому, которое ему дозволяется только золотом. Также рыцари сходятся в военном состязании. Это особая забава, во время которой множество воинов выступают в бой, всем похожий на настоящий, однако же наносить смертельный удар и увечья запрещено. Во времена правления короля Вацлава в Богемии поединки широко распространялись после того, как герой Ожье из немецких земель попал по двору короля Вацлава и показал ему эту любопытную забаву. Однако же вместе с поединками пришла к нашей земле и невероятная нищета, ибо панны во множестве своем путешествовали, дабы сражаться в турнирах и тратили на это целое состояние. Так что грошей на остальные нужды не оставалось. Они украшали себя и своих скакунов яркими тканями, дабы покрасоваться перед противниками, и чаще скрещивали оружие в поединках, нежели в настоящих битвах. В наши же дни старейший из благородных людей еще помнит, что чехи никогда были величайшими воинами во всей священной Римской империи. Однако после появления турниров способности их стали клониться к закату, и оттого их заслуги на настоящем поле брани уже не столь велики. Более того, некоторые, особенно известные из турнирных бойцов, и вовсе не могут в настоящем бою нанести удар, настолько оскудели их навыки. Возможно, однажды рыцари вновь станут настоящими мужчинами и, оставив пестрые турниры, отправятся на поле боя, ибо сама по себе турнирная забава — оскорбление перед лицом Господа. Так, почему она украдена? В смысле, обычный телефон. Ладно, читаем. Так, почти 500 лет назад прошло со дня, когда появилось огражденное стенами поселение, после выросшее в замок охраняющейся земли Зликан и их главный торговый путь. А после оно расцветло и стало целым городом, но тот, что 50 лет назад сгорел дотла и был отстроен заново еще более великолепным и мощными высокими стенами, которыми гордились бы даже Кутна-гора или сама Прага. Укрепленный город Ратая попал под власть самого короля и был дарован в качестве вотчины, а во время правления Иоанна Люксембургского был возглавлен паном Птачиком из Липы, который затем выстроил Нижний замок, названный Пиркштайном. Сегодня же Ратая управляется Ганушем, пока молодой пан Птачек из Липы не достигнет зрелого возраста, и ему не будет передан весь город и окрестные владения в качестве его вотчины. Ратая покровительствует всем ремеслам и торговцам, мясникам, кузнецам, портным, ткачам и оружейникам. И каждый месяц здесь проходит большая ярмарка. Ратая средоточие местного закона, а потому может позволить себе содержать собственного палача и поддерживать обширное местное войско. Большая каменная городская церковь названа в честь святого Матфея. Да, немного всяких интересных. Так, все. Время у нас Через 2 часа. Надо что-то здесь еще 2 часа делать.
Don't even look at that cabinet. It contains forbidden books. Talk to me, brother.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. But I've no time for idle chat. I transcribe books from dawn till dusk. I've been doing it for years, and I'll be doing it till the day I die.
What, you do nothing else?
It is my penance and my blessing. And now, brother, if you don't mind, I'd like to get this page finished.
What troubles you?
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct.
Что ж было, я уже спрашивал.
I don't need to hear it.
Oh, you're interested in what's inside?
Еще ключи надо будет искать, получается, где-то от этого ящика. Что мне нужно убить? Интересно, интересно. Как же мне его искать? Где-то нужно найти атом. Нет, отмычка бесполезна, наверное. Нужен ключ, а ключ можно только у этого дебила забрать. А забрать я смогу только тогда, когда он будет спать. А спят все в одном месте. Интересно, он тоже там же спит? Сейчас бы тут стоять 2 часа.
no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silence, the well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, the God to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but, since he has the authority, let him cut out those faults by the roots as soon as they begin to appear. Remembering the fate of Heli, the priest of Silo. The well-disposed and those of good understanding, let him correct with verbal admonition the first and second time. But bold, hard, proud, and disobedient characters he should curb at the very beginning of their ill-doing by stripes and other bodily punishments, knowing that it is written, the fool is not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell, and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command, and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply with his heart,
Damn, I'm tired.
even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers unless he amends and makes satisfaction.
My joints started aching just before they raised scallops, and now they hurt again. But worse than last time. I tell you, something has got the abbot up there.
Praise be on the sons. God be
А теперь можно поесть, да, Саша?
What troubles you?
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
Oh, nothing really, come to think of it.
Почему никого?
What would you like?
I'm interested in the other novices. What can you tell me about Siskin?
Oh, he's always got a smile and a new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to his duties. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already. If it was up to me, he'd be out on his ear right away.
Sounds like you don't have much time for him.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. Believe me, Gregor, he's hiding something from us. In fact, now I come to think of it, I haven't seen him at morning prayers for a while.
What can you tell me about Siskin? I'm interested in Lucas.
Nobody knows much about Lucas. He keeps himself to himself. If you ask me, he's got something to hide. I'd keep well clear of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot. And also none at all. The circuitors who make the rounds despise him, and they'd never punish anyone without cause.
I'd like to ask you something. Well, that's all.
Salve.
Talk to me, brother.
I'd be interested to hear... What can you tell me about Siskin?
That there's no man alive less suitable for the monastic life than him.
You don't know young Lord Capon.
I've heard things. Siskin must have been like him. Fighting, drinking, fornicating. But then he ended up in here.
Why is he in the monastery?
No one knows. Maybe he's hiding from something. Or maybe he's being punished.
Do you think he has a secret?
Don't we all? But unlike the others, he absolutely refuses to speak about his life before the monastery.
That's all I wanted to know about him. Thanks. What about Yodok?
Be on good terms with him. If you show even the slightest hint you don't like him, he'll make your life hell. He's a slimy little pedant who'll rat you out to the superiors. Once he finishes his novitiate, I imagine he'll want to climb his way up the ladder to at least Sir Cater. He's a man who enjoys ordering others around.
I'm interested in Lucas.
No one knows much about him. He doesn't talk to anyone. He works, eats, sleeps, then does it all again the next day. It's as if he wanted to get it all over with as soon as possible. By it, I mean his entire life.
Salve Domine.
That's all. Thanks.
На этом закончим. Найдем. Ну, скорее всего, это чиж. Конечно же. Но все равно. Пойдем.